Hi, this is Christopher Kimball from Mill Street. You know, most of us use this. This is the European chef's knife. It was designed, actually, from a medieval dagger, and you can tell because it looks like a dagger. And you might actually use it like this in the 16th century, but now in the kitchen we're using it like this. It's got a lot of problems. It's got much too much metal, it's very thick, it's very heavy. You pick it up, you feel like you have no control over the blade. It's just too much horsepower. And it's hard for people, unless you're really a pro, to control it and feel comfortable with it. I also think it's dangerous. It's a knife that you can easily get cut by if you're not careful. So too much knife, bad design. There are other places in the world that do it better. Now let me just give you an example. Let's assume you're just going to cut into an onion. So we'll cut off the ends. Now, I have this humongous chef's knife, and it's just too much knife. I mean, I have this huge long blade and this relatively small onion. I'm going to cut through it. My hand is so far from the tip of the knife, which is doing all the work here, that it's hard to control. You know, why am I so far away from the food? So you can use this, but I think it's really hard to use. So let's try something different. This is a knife we designed. I was in Spain at the Henkel's factory in Spain, having lunch one day. And we sat down and sketched this out, actually on a napkin, literally. And this is a Nakiri. Now that's a Japanese vegetable knife, and this is our version of it. It's very light. It's more like in the 6-ounce range than the 10 to 12-ounce range. And the reason is the blade is shorter, but it also has a very thin blade. It's about 2 millimeters thick on the top and tapers. So when you pick it up, unlike this thing, which is really heavy, you pick this up, it's not heavy, it's light. And you feel, when you get your hand on it, this is really important, you feel like you have control over the whole blade, you know, from the tip back to the heel, so it feels comfortable. And even if you're a great cook, or even if you just started up in the kitchen, you want a knife you feel comfortable with. You don't want to cut yourself. You want to feel like you have control. So if I was going to do that same onion, I would do this. And now, you know, I'm so much closer to the tip, and it goes through so much more easily because there's much less metal to push through. So this knife, I feel like, hey, I have control from the heel to the tip. And it just slices, just like butter, it just slices right through this onion. I'm using almost no pressure at all. So that's the Nakiri design. Again, in Japan, they have lots of different designs of knives we don't tend to use here. But if I could suggest one knife for you, I would suggest the Nakiri. Now, it's about half as deep as the Chinese cleaver, which is also a useful knife. So it's about 2 inches deep. As I said, the blade's really thin. It's about 2 millimeters thick at the spine and then tapers down. Again, the less metal you have to push through that onion, the easier it is for you. It doesn't have a bolster here, which is a piece of metal that sort of sticks up, which means you can get your thumb on one side and your index finger on the other. So if you want to really do something with the tip of the knife, you get total control. So it also has a rounded tip, unlike the European style knife, of course, which is a little more dangerous. This is based on a design from a fisherman's knife where they use rounded tips. Again, a little bit safer. And also, the deeper blade, if you put your hands up like this, you're sort of farther away from the cutting edge, which I like as well. Standard polymer handle with 3 rivets, which means it's not going to pop off. It's great for a lifetime of use. So if you want to change the way you cook immediately, which means, you know, prep is 90% of cooking, and you want your prep to be safer and quicker and easier, I really suggest you buy the Nakiri. It's going to feel comfortable in your hand the moment you take it out of the box, and it really will change the way you cook. It'll make it a lot more fun and a lot safer. Click the link below to save 40% on this knife, the Nakiri, today.